everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Now today we're going to be doing some coin cleaning, specifically around copper spots. It's a bit of coin sacrilege. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there, coin aficionados in particular, who will say that cleaning coins, gold, silver, whatever it might be, is the worst thing that you can do. You will cause more damage than good. And I will tend to agree with a lot of them. However, every now and again you get a bullion grade piece of gold or silver that will develop a defect. And in gold it's fairly common to see copper spots, these little red spots that appear. You've got one down here on the goat side, and then on the other side we've got a big one near the A in dollars, and there's also a little tiny one on the hairline of the queen. If I get the light just right you might be able to see that. So every now and again you get these coins and they're just bullion grade. You know, I bought this one actually for less than spot price, and as you can see I'm holding it with my bare hands. I don't really mind about fingerprints. It's not a particularly rare or numismatic coin, but I want to get rid of these copper spots and also demonstrate how it is fairly simple to do at home without too much sort of technology, so to speak. All you need is some aluminum foil, as you Americans might call it, or as we call it in the UK, tin foil, and some bicarbonate of soda. I think in America you would call it sodium bicarbonate. But basically these are the two things. With some hot water, hopefully it should take off the copper spot fairly easily. Now I do want to reiterate my little warning here to say that if you are going to attempt this on your coins, if you do have something that holds a premium, so it's more than its weight in or more than its value in just its weight of gold or silver, I would highly recommend wearing gloves so that you protect your coin from fingerprints. Think about how you're going to do it to the best of ability. Think about how you're going to dry the coin without basically, you know, brushing it with something, so leaving it out to air dry or dabbing it, or, you know, if you leave it out to air dry and your water's got a lot of minerals in it, it could leave residue on the coin. So there's loads of little different things to think about, but for me, this is just a bullion grade coin. I don't mind about it. I just want to get rid of these copper spots, and then we'll clean it up with a piece of tissue and look at it and see how it is before and after. So that's my kind of caveat here. I think if you have got a coin that is, you know, in a little bit more worse for wear state, you want to make it look a little bit better. If it's a bullion grade coin, fine, but if it's a collectible coin, probably best to get it done professionally. Now, copper spotting. Let's just talk about this first before we jump in and actually get rid of them. So I've talked a little bit about copper spotting on my channel before, but to reiterate the message here, a copper spot does not mean that your gold is fake. A lot of people think that. A lot of people think this is the copper from underneath the plating of the gold that is coming through. There are plenty of different home tests that you can do to verify whether or not something is a real gold coin, and I'm not going to go through those now, but there's loads of them out there, specific gravity magnets, all of this jazz. You can do that, you can verify these things really easy. Copper spots are a well-known phenomenon that happens on gold coins, and it's essentially residue that's been left over from either the alloying process or the refining process of the gold itself, but more commonly it's actually going to be minute particles of copper that were on the dies that were used to strike the coins, and those tiny little concentrations of copper particles have been left on the surface of the gold, and they have then turned red over time. Sometimes it can take a couple of weeks, very quick to arise. Sometimes it can take weeks, months, years, depending on how many copper particles are there. It's not something that you should worry about in terms of real gold, fake gold or not. If anything, some people say it's actually an indication that you've got something that's real gold, because if it was a completely fake gold coin, you know, fake gold plated, you'd have way more than just one tiny little spot. So these are fairly recognizable spots. It seems like some mints have, you know, a few more problems than others. I think, you know, Mexican Libertads are very, very prone to these. There are a lot of pandas out there and panda-based coins that have these kind of situations and issues on them too. So, you know, they're common, but it's not necessarily something you need to overtly worry about. Now, in terms of the science of removing these copper spots, I'm not really a scientist. All I know is that there's going to be a reaction between the aluminum foil. I do like saying aluminum. I have to say, like in the UK we say aluminium foil or tin foil, but aluminum sounds a lot more sort of space age and everything. But anyway, I'm not a scientist. You know, this is a fairly well-known and researched method to use. There are different ones using various acids. You can even actually heat up the gold coin with a blowtorch. That's another test that you, or not test, another solution that you can have. We're just going to do this one because it's the most easy one that you can do, and it's very, very simple. The bicarb of soda, the hot water and the aluminum will create a reaction which will lift off those impurities of the copper. It will help dissolve those copper particles and remove the stain that's on there. If anybody wants to share a little bit more of the information that they have about the science of it, then please feel free. Now, in terms of quantities of bicarb of soda, you don't really need to measure it out, you just need to have a good kind of covering, and then you're going to get some hot water and put that in there, and then you're basically going to put the coin in. So I'm just going to go boil the kettle, and then I'll be back in a moment with some hot water to dunk into this pot. That's what I was going to say. I was going to dunk into the coin, but we're going to dunk the coin into the water in the pot. So bear with me, we'll be back in a moment. Alright, so the water is boiled, and we're just going to put some water in here, and you can see immediately the bicarb of soda will be bubbling away, and then all we need to do is pop the gold coin into the water. And obviously you've got to think about how you're going to get the gold coin out of said water as well, because it's of course boiling. So I'm just using some kitchen tongs. I'm sure there are probably a few more appropriate pieces of equipment that you can use. So I'm just looking now, and I can see that it's already taking effect. The copper spot on that A is looking a little bit lighter than it once was, which is a good sign. That copper spot was quite a big chunky one, so I don't know if we're going to get it all off in one go. And what I might end up having to do is recharging it, because you saw how frothy and deep the bubbles were initially there. So what I might do actually is just have the gold coin in with the bicarb of soda and pour the water in if it's not quite all gone. So let's get this coin out if we can. I had it all perfect a second ago. There we go. And remember, it's going to be very hot. Gold coins and silver coins are great conductors of heat. So we're just going to get it quickly dabbed down a little bit. Okay, so here's the results of the first little run through. So we can see that the copper spot has subsided quite significantly, but we have lost some colour on the top there. It's very interesting. Now this again is not a sign that this is a fake gold coin. You'll be looking at this thinking, goodness me, you've taken off the top layer of gold and it's showing some fake metal underneath. That's just the discoloration of that area that was contaminated with the copper. So that's still surface level stuff. So it's really interesting. You don't necessarily get rid of the entire blemish. We have got rid of the, well, I can't see it anymore. The one that was on the Queen's hairline, that's gone. Let's have a look on the other side here. We've got a little grey spot now still showing through on that lunar goat field. So interesting stuff there. I'm going to just charge up this pot of water again with some bicarb of soda and the coin in, and then pour in the hot water, and we'll see if that is capable of taking off the final little bit of the grey. So just bear with me 1 second while I empty this, and I'll be back in a moment. Right, so I've recharged the tinfoil, just in case that's a factor to play into it. We've got some more baking soda in there, and we're going to pop the coin in, and then I'm just going to reboil the kettle. And here we go. So there will be other better potential methods to get rid of your copper spots, and if it's a big deep one like this one, perhaps it's not going to get rid of the entire blemish there, which is, I think, really interesting. The whole science of this is fascinating, and I can see that it has not quite got rid of that little grey spot still. So ooh, that's a toasty warm gold coin. Let's have a look, see how we've got on. Yeah, so we are still seeing a little grey spot there, which is fine. Again, this is not an indication that it's a fake gold coin, but it certainly looks a lot better than it did before. But it's one of these things where if you do have something like this, this is just a little bit of a home remedy to help you kind of get a better looking coin, but it's never going to solve the problem in its entirety. That is really important to know. And also, just the general way I've been handling this coin in this video, you can see that we've got some scratches now on the Queen's face. I really do want to reiterate that I don't care about the quality of this coin. This is just a bullion grade piece of gold for me. It's all about the weight of gold rather than the quality of the coin. So anybody out there who's going to moan about me handling this and causing these little micro scratches, you know, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. For me, this looks remarkably better than it once did. There are still little imperfections there. I might do a second follow-up video to see if we can work out how to get rid of these tiny little marks there. So there was one more thing I just thought about trying actually that I've got here very easily, and I thought I'd just try it because we've obviously taken off the red parts of this copper spotting, but I wanted to see if we can get rid of this little grey patch that's still on the coin. So I've got my blowtorch and we're going to heat up the coin and see if that makes any difference and takes off that spot at all. So obviously in your own home, be very, very careful of how you would look to do this kind of removal. Of course you need to have all of the right safety equipment. Now I'm just obviously holding this with some pliers. Of course that's going to potentially look to damage the coin, and that's obviously not something that you really want to happen. I can already actually see, I think this is making a distinct difference, which is really interesting. So this is working quite well, I think. Now, blowtorches are fairly easy to come by if people are looking at this going, gosh, all right for you, you've got a silver pouring business, you pour silver and you've got these all fine. Yes, they are. You can buy them on Amazon. This is just one of these little kitchen blowtorches that you would use to make a creme brulee, for example. Really easy and cheap to come by. So I think that is actually pretty good. And for those worrying that the gold coin is suddenly going to melt, no, it probably won't. Not with a blowtorch of this strength. It is a very, very weak blowtorch in that sense. But obviously, if you have a really strong one, you don't want it to be on for ages and ages. Right, so let's have a really close look. Now this coin is obviously still going to be very hot, so I'm not going to touch it, but if we can get it into focus, there we go. And that has solved the problem. Look at that. We have no longer got that spot on there. So now I'm just going to quickly quench the gold coin, and we can have a look at it nice and close. Just dab it off very quickly. Right, so here we go. Cleaned it up, and with proper water this time, with clean water, and it looks really nice. I'm actually really happy with this. The copper spots are completely gone. Looks fantastic. There we have it, job done. So if you enjoyed today's video, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this around on your social media. That would be very helpful for everything that we do here on the channel. Big shout out, as usual, goes to all of the health and key workers out there in this big wide world, keeping us healthy, fed and safe. Thank you for all of your hard work. Otherwise, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Have a fantastic weekend. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment and subscribe for more.